Once upon a time, in a small village surrounded by dark forests, there lived a wicked king named King Malice. He ruled with an iron fist, and his heart was as cold as ice. The villagers lived in fear of him, for he demanded high taxes and punished anyone who dared to speak against him. Every month, the villagers had to bring their hard-earned crops to the castle. If they didn't bring enough, King Malice would send his guards to take what little they had left. The villagers whispered among themselves, hoping for a day when they could be free from his cruel rule. One night, as the moon shone bright and the wind howled through the trees, a brave young girl named Alara decided she had enough. She gathered the villagers and said, "We cannot live like this any longer. We must stand together and find a way to stop the king." The villagers were scared but inspired by Alara's courage. They agreed to meet in the forest under the cover of darkness. They planned to confront King Malice and demand a fair life. The next day, they marched to the castle, their hearts pounding with fear and hope. When they reached the gates, they shouted, "King Malice, we demand to speak with you." The king, surprised by their boldness, stepped out onto the balcony. His eyes glinted with anger. "How dare you disturb my peace?" he roared. "You will pay for this insolence." But Alara stepped forward, her voice steady. "We are tired of your cruelty. We want to live in peace and happiness, not fear." King Malice laughed, a chilling sound that echoed through the village. "You think you can challenge me? I am the king. I will not be overthrown by a bunch of peasants." Just then, a strange wind swept through the courtyard, and the villagers felt a shiver run down their spines. The ground trembled, and a dark shadow appeared behind the king. It was a ghostly figure, the spirit of a former king who had been overthrown long ago. "Malice," the spirit boomed, "your wickedness has brought you nothing but despair. The people you oppress will rise against you." King Malice turned pale, realizing that his time was up. The villagers, emboldened by the spirit's words, shouted louder, "We will not be afraid anymore." With a final scream, King Malice vanished into thin air, leaving behind only a gust of cold wind. The villagers cheered, their hearts filled with joy and relief. They were finally free from the wicked king's rule. From that day on, the village flourished. They worked together, shared their harvests, and lived in harmony. Ilara became their leader, guiding them with kindness and courage. And every year they celebrated the day they stood up to the wicked king, remembering that together they could overcome any darkness. And so, the village thrived, a place of laughter and light, where fear was replaced by hope, and the memory of King Malice faded into a distant nightmare.